I'm excited, and I'm doing this for me because I can talk about a lot of things, but the hardest thing for me to talk about is myself. Because I'm from the South Bronx, we just don't do that kind of stuff, right? And that's just being real about it. But I think that it's important for me as I try different things, try something different and challenge myself. So let's get to it. So I am an artist, right? That's what I went to school for, like that's how I grew up, like that's how I see the world, that's my lens, that's how I process things. So for me, I'm gonna tell you my story as an artist, from an artist's perspective, right? And so I'm really using the metaphor of a mosaic. You ever been in the train stations? If you've been in New York City, the subway, there's cute ceramic tile things. So a mosaic is a piece of art that you create with broken pieces. Glass, stones, whatever it is, you put it together with some adhesive, right? And so you do it and you're creating a picture. Now, I think that really resonates with me because for the past 3 years, I felt pretty broken as a person, right? And so like I've had a lot of things happen to me and I just felt very debilitated. So one of the things for me that I was thinking about is like, how do I get past this? Because for me, I've never been used to being in a space where I can't move beyond it, right? Like it was just tearing me apart. So like, how do I do this? Like, how do I really get beyond this point? And so a year ago, I spent some time teaching art for an after-school program. So I'm around middle school students. Let me tell you, if you think college students are raw, you try dealing with a kid that does not have a filter. They tell you how they feel. So this is one of my students, Darius. He did this picture. So we were doing a piece on watercolors. We're trying to teach him watercolor techniques. So he tried the first time and it was just absolutely terrible. It's like, okay, we just start again. Like, this is beyond the point of salvation. We gotta start over again, friend. So we went back to it and it was turning good. And I don't know where he made the left turn, but it ended up the same way that it was looking, right? And so what I realized from this, I'm talking to him and I'm singing him praises. He didn't want to accept the praise. Like, he didn't know how good of talented he was. And so as I'm trying to explain that to him, I'm trying to reflect on it and I realize that's what's been happening to me, right? Like, and I heard someone once talk about imposter syndrome, right? They talk about like 70% of people deal with imposter syndrome, and I thought that's a more bullshit. Like, nobody really deals with no imposter syndrome. But I was really saying that, not wanting to acknowledge out loud that I was feeling it, right? Like, I really felt like I wasn't smart enough, right? But I know I am. I have a degree from a great school. Let me put that out there. Facts, right? But I really felt like I wasn't smart enough. Like, sometimes I wouldn't speak up. I think I was conditioned to feel like if I said something, I was wrong for saying it, or maybe I just didn't know where it was coming from, right? And so I think when I saw Darius' work, I was really taken aback by it because it was a beautiful thing. He didn't seem to see it, but like I saw that there. And so what it reminded me of, and why I like the mosaic metaphor, is because I had to ask myself, like, how do I rebuild my life? Like, how do I move forward? And I kept wanting to go back to how things used to be. But what I realized is, why would I want to go back to a place that got me where I'm at right now in the first place, right? Like, I had to think about that, right? So I had to really change my whole approach. So for me, it was about, how do I take the pieces of my life, right? It's like I was saying with a mosaic, you take these pieces, broken glass, right? Broken glass that by itself is not something necessarily one. How do you put it together into intricate patterns that form something that is a thing of beauty? So for me, what I'm realizing and what I'm learning is I have to start learning to live my life me, right? And so oftentimes, I know y'all used to see me with the bow tie, looking no flies, everything. I mean, I get it. If I was you, I'd look at me too. I understand that. But what I realized is that that's a part of who I am, but that it is okay for me not to look. It's okay for me to look the way that I am, that it doesn't change who I am as a person. And if you choose not to see that, friend, that is your problem, not mine. Right? So I'm starting to learn to live my life for me. And what does that mean? So what I realized is being broken, because I know that I'm broken as a person. I'm broken in some areas beyond repair. And I am okay saying it. In our profession, we don't want to admit those things sometimes, because it may imply something not positive. But I am okay saying that. I'm okay being able to say that, because what I realize is with those broken pieces, when one falls off, I I have a lot of other experiences. I can pick up another piece and put it where that other one fell and replace it. So what I'm learning to realize for me is, like, how do I tap into? So again, as an artist, I went back to one thing that I've always known my whole life. Like, I've always had artistic ability. It's grown over time, but like that's the one place where I know super confident. And you cannot tell me that I'm not a talented artist because I know that I can do that. So I'm learning to channel that. I'm learning to really focus that, to really rebuild the pieces of my life that I lost over the past couple of years. Because again, I let other people influence and tell me who I was not, rather than me defining myself. So to me now, as I am moving forward, and as you interact with me, you need to understand that I'm in a different place in life. So for me, I'm not going to let anyone define who I am anymore. Like for me, I am going to tell you this is who I am, and if you don't want to deal with it, it is okay. I am okay with that. But understand that from this point forward, I have to be a role model. And I have to really understand what that's going to mean going forward, because I have a whole group of people looking up to me, and so it is important for me to get that and understand. So what I say to you is, when you feel like you fall into pieces, just understand, pick them up, and just go forward from there. And so thank you very much.